Kiefer, how's it playing for Shiga Lakes? How's life in Japan?
It's been great. It's been treating me very well. Right now, I'm enjoying the warm weather because in a few months, winter's gonna come once again, and it's going to be really cold. And hopefully, as borders start to open up, I get to bring my family here. As we all know, 30 is also here, so they get to visit us both. We're excited for that, and the season is in 2 3 weeks from now. So last minute preparations for the team, and then we're ready to go.
Okay, and so how's training been? I mean, is your training very rigorous ba? Ano ba yung daily routine mo dyan sa Japan?
Daily routine. Well, our training is not really that hard. I'm just very fortunate because I signed with the same team, with the same coach, with the same system and philosophy. So in terms of adjusting, it's not so hard for me anymore. But in terms of our roster, we made a lot of improvement, a lot of changes, and at the same time, the other players that were retained, the experience that we all gained from last season, will definitely bring it for this coming season sa B League. So we're very much excited to begin the season with our team, and we obviously have a new name with the Shiga Lakes. So we're excited for a new beginning.
Saan ka ba sa Japan ngayon, Kiefer?
My prefecture is Shiga. It's
Mhm.
in central Japan. I'm close to Kyoto and Osaka, neighbors pretty much. I'm beside the biggest lake in Japan. That's why we're called the Shiga Lakes. It's been a great adventure for me last year, and I'm sure it's going to be the same thing again this year.
I'm trying to imagine what it must be like for you kasi syempre all your life, you've known Philippine basketball. Parang you know Philippine basketball by heart na, 'di ba? And you're an integral part actually of Philippine basketball until now playing for the national team. But how big of an adjustment was it when you started playing in Japan?
I think it was a bigger adjustment for me, transferring to a different style of basketball, different brand, and obviously a different role. Here as an import, they expect a lot from you. And at the same time, you're also playing with three other imports. So as a point guard, you have to know how to balance everything out. And I think that's one thing that's why Shiga brought me here with my experience. And at the same time, I can help when it comes to leadership and just making the team close. And because we all know it's a long season and we need everybody to be able to contribute and help the team win.
When you say it's a different style or a different brand of basketball, paano ba siya naiba sa basketball dito sa atin?
Talent-wise, I think Philippines, with our players there, we're very talented, we're very skillful. And in terms of the system, the Japanese really makes it up for what they lack or what we have an advantage when it comes to talent. So that's how they make it up for, the way they play, the pace, the system. So that's how I try to compare it with our brand of basketball.
Okay, so mahirap bang maging import? Kasi nga sabi mo ikaw na yung import ngayon.
Actually, it's harder to become an OFW than an import. I don't see it as an import. Basketball has given so much opportunities for me. So I'm still blessed to play basketball, but I feel for the other OFWs what they always go through in their daily lives. Being away from family. I think that's the harder part.
Was it the first time na nahiwalay ka sa pamilya mo for a very long time?
No. It wasn't the first time. I also
Okay.
tried to play after college. I tried to go to the States and pursue a dream of mine, and that didn't pan out. And obviously, I learned a lot, but I was still away from family for a year. And it was also hard, especially during that time. I was a lot younger. You wanted to do a lot of things, but that's what that was my path before. And there's no regrets for me. And obviously, I think it helped me benefit for my future, which is now. I did that 6 7 years ago. Light experience of being away from family.
Okay. Ang tagal na pala nun, 6 or 7 years ago.
Yes. Right after
Okay.
college, getting
Oo.
old.
O, wag na natin pag-usapan edad, ha? But, Kiefer, I have a question. Kasi, you mentioned when you went to the States, di ba? And I remember that na parang you were trying things out there. Pero kasi pag sinabi mong punta kang States, parang mas may sort of familiarity because, I mean, you know the language and parang the culture, maraming Pinoy sa Amerika. But like here in Japan, wala bang naging problema sa, let's say, the language barrier? I mean, hindi ka ba nahirapan trying to adjust?
Yes, there was a slight barrier, but at the end of the day, Miss Pia were the ones who were adjusting and trying to immerse in their culture. So You just have to adjust and, be patient. And, good thing we're playing basketball, because in basketball, there's a universal language. Elsewhere you play in the world, some terms are the same. So it's easier for us to communicate. It's easier for us to talk. And when it comes to playing together, there's not much problem. It's just, trying to communicate, daily communication. But, so far so good. I have a lot of teammates who can understand and talk English very well.
But do you also have more Japanese words in your vocabulary now?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Talaga? So
I
kaya mo
can,
na mag-converse in
not, really,
Japanese?
not that deep. For me, I can order the food that I want.
Ay, wow.
I,
Importante
I can,
yon.
Yes, yes, yes. I can go to places that I won't get confused, or whether I'm confused, I can ask for
Mhm.
directions. Yeah, more of the necessities.
Okay. How did you pick up all these important phrases? Is it because inaral mo siya or parang sa exposure na lang sa daily life?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just from the exposure from my teammates, just being around them, asking questions. We're a very diverse team. We have a Croatian import, we have an American import, we have a Spanish coach. I'm Filipino, so our cultures are very much diverse, and we learn from one another, and that's how we adapt. And hopefully, we can use it in the games where it's most important.
Okay, so that's nice. So minsan pwede kayong mag-shift from English to Japanese or
Yes,
Nihongo. Oo.
yes, yes.
So ano bang in-order mo?
The usual. I like my ramen,
Nako.
katsudon, all of those
Shucks. Parang gusto ko
sushi.
tuloy kumain ng Japanese food after nito.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The usuals. It's just so hard to actually pick. That's the problem here. It's so hard because everything's good.
Oo nga eh. Pero at least healthy yung food, di ba?
Yes, 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 definitely.
After practice, you get to go visit the sites. Ano yung madalas ginagawa mo pag tapos na practice or pag walang game?
Last year, I think that was my exploring year. Just being my first year here in Japan, playing professionally. But now I think I've adjusted. I've seen the sites that should be seen. I think with our schedule as well, it's really hard to just go around, because, we play a lot of games, our practices, we travel a lot. So I think as an athlete, you have to really prioritize resting. I think that's one thing I've learned last year, and hopefully I can, apply it again this year.
The place where you're staying, malapit lang yan sa pinagte-trainingan ninyo.
Yes, here in our prefecture, here in Shiga, everything's close by, very convenient.
Ibig ba sabihin yan, Kiefer, ikaw gumagawa ng lahat ng chores mo dyan sa bahay? I mean, ikaw
Oh,
maglilinis, magluluto.
yes, 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 Miss Pia. It's me. It's all me. Laundry, cleaning, fixing the bed, everything, luto, cooking food. If I'm not that tired, I'll be able to cook. But sometimes after practice, you just want to sleep, take out.
Kaya pala, yun yung una mong natutunan, no? Yung pag-order ng pagkain. So if you have time, kaya mo talagang magluto ng isang buong meal for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I have time, day off, sometimes I would do groceries, or just
Oh.
cook a meal. I'll ask my mom or people in the house how to cook this, how to cook that.
Ano yung mga kaya mong lutuin na parang ipagmamalaki mo sa ibang tao?
Adobo.
Wow! Talagang classic Pinoy food. Kasi syempre, yun yung namimiss mo siguro, no?
Yes, 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 yes. Every now and then, parang I feel like it's important to have a taste of home pa din.
So, nung umuwi ka ba the last time na pagluto mo ba mami mo? I'm sure she'd be very proud kung matikman niya, masarap pala yung adobo na niluluto mo.
No, no, no. I was just waiting for the food.
Parang bakasyon na rin kasi. Was it an adjustment for you having to do all these chores on your own?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was an adjustment, but at the same time, found it fun and a good way to kill time instead of just laying down, watching movies. It's always gonna be there. It was a great experience for me growing up, and just at the same time, I'm still trying to learn a lot of things about myself and what I really want for my future, and having this sense of independence, it's very good for me.
So kung baga, pag busy ka sa mga chores mo, bawas pagka-homesick.
Yes, yes. And sometimes, when I do my chores, my mom's on FaceTime. I'll just be talking to her, my sister. Sometimes 30, even though, he's also here. Just to
Oo.
have that, white noise in the house,
Oo.
because I live alone. Just to hear familiar voices, stories, and everything.
Kumbaga may family time pa rin kayo.
Yes, yes. Thank God for good technology.
Oh, well, sabi mo nga, di ba, si 30 is also there. Nagkikita ba kayo ni 30 dyan?
Yeah. We get to see each other here once in a while. Obviously, when we play against each other.
Mhm.
But when it comes to off days, sometimes when he wants to visit, he's a 2 hour and a half drive from my place. Relatively, it's not that far when it comes to Japan. But just resting at home is still important, is still the priority. Driving is sometimes, it takes a toll, especially if it's that long and you have to go back and forth. So yeah, but at the same time, we both know our priorities here, which is to play well for our club teams.
Oo nga, medyo malayo rin pala, no? 2 to 3
Yes,
hours
yes.
away. Wait, kaya mo na mag-drive sa Japan?
Yes. We both drive here in Japan.
Wow!
A little adjustment from the other side.
Oo.
My first year, last year, it was really hard. I think I was driving 20 kilometers an hour for my first week. I was really safe
Oo.
and really taking my time because, it was a whole different world, just turning right to the opposite lane, even just crossing the street, looking right instead of looking left first, those little things that, are big adjustments.
Oo nga, nakakapanibago, I'm sure. Kasi, di ba, and even the road signs, paano yung road signs? Hindi lahat ata may English translation.
Yes. So we just stay in our lane. Hopefully not to hit anyone. That is what we do. We see a red sign, we stop.
Sa bagay, red is the universal stop. Pero kung wala yung street signs, paano mo alam na, eto na pala yung kalsadang pupuntahan ko?
Yeah, we use Google Maps, talk in
Oh,
English.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
tapos basta kumbaga if Google Maps says turn right on the second corner, bibilangin mo na lang.
Yeah, that's it. And like sometimes, it's not really so often that we go around to unfamiliar places because here in Japan, public transportation is very convenient. So it's either we ride a train, go to places, walk, things like that. But when we use our cars, it's just going to the mall, going to practice, going back home. So we don't really have to use directions in terms of getting our way around. But, Google Maps helps us, when we need 911.
Wait, when you first got to Japan, did you ever find yourself lost in Japan?
Oh,
Kasi
yes,
nga,
that's-
syempre, di ba? Oo,
For
knew
sure, for
everything.
sure. Yeah. The first practice that I went to on my own, I got lost right away. So I was just trying to use my photographic memory when I got picked up from my place, and our assistant coach picked me up going to practice and then going back home. He also brought me back to my place. And then the following day, I was just trying to remember a lake and buildings, and then it didn't work. It didn't work for me. I got lost.
Okay, wait, you were driving.
I was driving.
Okay, medyo mahirap yun, no? Basta a lake and a building kasi medyo generic din yun.
Yeah. Especially like how big the lake is. You'll definitely see a lot of lake.
Oo nga. So, how's that na late ka sa practice?
No. I just made
Okay.
sure I was bound to get lost.
Okay.
I left probably like 45 minutes earlier
Okay.
just to make it on time.
Oo,
Yes.
that first experience of getting lost, nalagpasan mo na
Yes,
yon.
Yes.
Okay, and then you mentioned that it's very easy to take public transportation. Do you enjoy riding the trains,
Yeah.
walking?
Probably a lot of people would say, I wouldn't mind to get lost in Japan. It's a beautiful place. It's very easy to go around, and people are very polite. They'll try their best to help you out. Riding the train, you'll see a lot of good sights, and a lot of good places to eat in, things like that would really make everything worth it.